going to be your driver and your tour guide for the next 35 to 40 minutes as we cover just about 3/4 of the zoo grounds on our bus tour route. Caribbean flamingos. They are the largest and most colorful variety of flamingo. These birds have very long lifespans as well. In fact, some are over 40 years old. We pass through these areas. It's very important not to pick any of the plants. We do have quite a few endangered plants in our collection here, so keep that in mind. Now pulling up here at Tiger River. This is the first bioclimatic zone we'll see on the route, and by bioclimatic zone, I mean an area of the zoo where we have placed both plants and animals from the same part of the world. This represents the Southeast Asian rainforest. It is home to our Indo-Chinese tigers. They are, however, sometimes difficult to see from the bus, being such large mammals. They do have a large exhibit and can be up above or down below. I'll creep forward just a bit here, see if we can't spot them in the upper corner. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't look like they are out right now. You may want to check these guys out if you haven't seen them already today. We're now headed up to the next bioclimatic zone here on the route. This is representing the Central African rainforest. It is home to our river hippos, and you may see some feet sticking out in the pool down below. Up here on the hillside, if you look to the left-hand side behind the trees, you will see a very beautiful animal known as an Okapi. Does anyone know what the Okapi is most closely related to? A zebra, that's a very good guess, but actually not correct. It's the most common answer. The Okapi is actually most closely related to the giraffe, however. In fact, they have an 18-inch long tongue to prove it. An Okapi can lick and clean its own eyeballs with its tongue. Pretty amazing feat. Now, these are very elusive animals. They are found deep within the dense rainforests of the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Central Africa. They are, in fact, so elusive that they were not discovered by Western researchers until the early 1900s. And believe it or not, we are still discovering animals around the world and many different kinds of plants. Besides being a zoo, we're also an accredited botanical gardens. We have 7 major plant collections, one of which is bamboo. You can find bamboo growing here on both sides of the bus. If you look how many zoos in the U.S. fortunate enough to house giant pandas. To the Caribbean variety, these are the smallest and the most abundant type of flamingo found in the world, the ones often seen flocking in groups on documentary films. In with the flamingos, you may notice some of our local birds, such as blue herons and white egrets. They're kind of freeloaders. They like to get some free food around here, but we don't mind having them. So they're known as the Java's Bentang. And on the left-hand side, we are pulling up here at Polar Bear Plunge. I did see the bus. If you can't see that polar bear, if you'd like to stand up, that's fine. I'll let you know before we get started again here. In Polar Bear Plunge, we do have 4 polar bears, any 2 on exhibit at a given time. And polar bears are classified as marine mammals, which means they are protected by the same laws that protect the whale and the dolphin. And that's because a polar bear lives so much of its time in the water. They do have a very aquatic lifestyle and special adaptations for that. In fact, their front feet are partially webbed, aiding them in swimming. They'll use their back feet like a rudder or snout. Not only was that power left over, but a couple of lions were simply abandoned in Balboa Park. And our founder, Dr. Harry Weatherford, decided to make a home for those lions. That's how we got our start here at San Diego Zoo. On the right are the Cuviers gazelles, followed by the crowned dicer, crowned digrellus, thought to have gone extinct thousands of years ago. The Chicola country was rediscovered in the 1970s in the Grand Chaco region of South America. And as you saw before, this time Sky Safari takes you back to wallabies, an endangered wallaby from New South Wales, Australia. On the right-hand side is one of the national treasures of China, known as the Szechuan takin. The takin come from the same region where you would find the giant panda that's in the box that we have here in North America. New Sky Safari. Find one of our flock silk trees surrounded by reed-stemmed orchids. Those orchids are a hybrid flower, not found naturally in the wild. Back on the right, the first of our antelope here, known as the Nubian Zummering gazelle. In with these submarine scavenger birds, so just like a vulture, you'll notice they have no feathers on their head. That helps to keep them clean and bacteria-free as they feed. Flag of New Guinea. And back on the right, you'll find those cattle from Africa. Also from Africa, here to the left side is our giant forest hog.
Giant what?
Antlers are made all of bone with no surrounding keratin layer. They are in fact the fastest growing bones in the animal world. That's because they are not permanent structures. They fall off each year after breeding season and are regrown. It is very important here at the zoo. Past the buffalo, directly to my right now, before you find the zebra there, you'll see a type of tree known as a cork tree. It's from the bark of a cork tree that we get the material for corking wine bottles. This type of zebra is known as a Giraffes zebra. They're known for their very close together striped pattern. Two different types of African antelope. The larger species is known as a lesser kudu, the smaller the Speaks gazelle. After the Steenbok come the Saharan Dorcas gazelles. Our desert where it's hot and dry almost year-round. They have highly adapted kidneys and have been known to go their entire lifetime without ever taking a drink of water. They are able to utilize most of the water directly from their food source, a great adaptation for a desert dweller. Another type of gazelle in the wild. The last remaining wild herd was taken to a zoo in Spain in the 1970s. These are descendants of those animals. So again, San Diego Zoo is known as a Maasai giraffe. It's one of 9 subspecies. And right there in the middle, you can see little Amani. Amani, the newest member of the herd, was born on May 23rd of this year. She now stands almost 10 feet tall, was about 6 foot at birth. We also have 3 adult females in here. Abby, the tallest female, is the mother of little Amani. We have Bahati and little Nikki. The next that we humans have is just that those vertebrae are very elongated, giving them quite the reach and quite the advantage over other animals when it comes to foraging behavior. Right here in front is little Nikki. She's an adult giraffe, over 7 years old, just kind of short in stature for a giraffe. So even in the giraffe, you can see quite a variation in height. The browse that you may have noticed hanging from the baskets are a type of acacia, the favorite food of the giraffe, and another of our 7 major plant collections here at San Diego Zoo. Also, we do harvest, grow, and feed some of those plants to the giraffes, as you saw. We do have a browse program here at the zoo in which many different types of animal food are grown and harvested to feed to the collection. African antelopes, and what that means is that it's quite easy to differentiate between a male and a female. The male is the individual in there with the very dark coloration, the much longer, curvier horns. So it's quite a bit different than all the other animals, which are all female. Left now, these are the addax. Notice on the addax the characteristic white facial masking and spiraled horns. Also here to the left you will see not only one of our adults, but our newest member there, a very young little meerkat. Social structures in which different individuals will hold different duties throughout the day. One of the most important meerkat duties is guard duty. You can see that adult looking very vigilantly around his surroundings. He's making sure no predators come down to harm either he or the rest of the group. We do have 3 meerkat exhibits in this because they not only provide protection, but also will collect water on reserve. Part of our rock copy right up here on the branch is the bossaler eagle. Sorry about the squeaky brakes. At least you know they work. Now heading into the area where we have some of our wild goats, starting here on the right with the central Chinese giraffe. These giraffes live in rocky habitat and are very nimble. They can land on a rock just the size of your hand when negotiating through those rocky areas. They're a wild dog known as the African painted dog. These are cooperative hunting dogs. They'll work together in packs to bring down prey. And then comes the Spanish ibex, like the sable antelope, a very sexually dimorphic animal. You can see first off the male there with a very long and curvy horn. followed by our female, much shorter horns on the female Spanish ibex. Walls. These are a small type of cat related to other small felines such as bobcats, caracoles. Looks like in the second exhibit here you can see the quadamundi. One of our quadamundis there working on his figure in the exercise wheel, staying fit and trim after his Thanksgiving feast. These caracoles are highly endangered cats. In fact, a lot of the world's cats are among the most endangered of all land mammals, because not only do they deal with habitat encroachment, but also overhunting for their beautiful furs and competition with livestock ranchers. There he is, the black jaguar. His name is Orson. These are New World cats. They come from South and Central America up into Mexico, and very recently have been sighted by tripwire camera in Arizona. Right here around the zoo. So we're going to head off here to the left, up into Bear Canyon. Don't touch the bus, please. These are endangered primates from India. On the right-hand side, you'll see the boats and freshwater fish. Here, right at the beginning of Fern Canyon, part of our orchid collection. Brown bears such as Kodiaks and Eurasian brown bears. The Alaskan brown bear has been known to eat up to 70 pounds of salmon in a single hour when preparing for hibernation toward the end of summertime. But they are not strict carnivores at all. In fact, they do forage for a lot of plant matter, including roots and tubers, fruits, berries, and leaves to supplement their diet of fish and meat. This is our male named Spanky. Looks like he might go in for a dip in the pool. Also in here is a female, his sister, named Sheena. Now if you're standing, make sure you're holding on to something solid as we continue up the hill. It is estimated that a lion is worth over $1 million in the profits from tourism each year. And of course, preserving those lions preserves their habitat for other animals as well. Lions are unique in the cat family. They're the only type of cat that retains a permanent social group and roaming the earth at different times, dating all the way back to 45 million years ago. The first elephant-like animal remains found in North Africa. We'll be able to see the elephants, it looks like, a little better from the opposite side, and I'll be able to show you the difference between those two species. Full-grown adults, just a different species from the river or common hippo we saw a bit earlier. Pygmy hippos only get up to about 600 pounds as compared to the 6,000 or more that a river hippo reaches. Familiar with the black and white rhinos of Africa? We do have a special conservation program for white rhinos up at the Wild Animal Park. 2 feet long, and that helps to gather ants and termites. Also here to the left are some smaller cats, including... And now finally a real good look at all 3 of our elephants. These are all females. Now can anyone tell me which one is the African elephant? That one. On the far left-hand side is our African female. You can tell because she has much larger ears. She also has visible tusks, and you don't see that on either of the 2 Asian girls. The Asians do have a bit of ivory. It's concealed by their upper lip, only about 6 inches long at the most. Rather than call that a tusk, we call it a tush. Now another elephant question for you. Can anyone tell me what the closest relative living to the elephant would be in the animal world? It's pretty surprising. Any guesses? You might guess the tapir off here to our left-hand side. This bear's tapir has a very long pouch. Look for the koalas here in the crutches of the trees underneath the umbrellas. Probably the best one to view right now on the right-hand side. This koala is actually awake. which is somewhat surprising. Koalas sleep quite a bit of the time, about 18 to 20 hours a day. When they're not sleeping, they are generally eating. Koalas feed only on one thing. What would that be? Eucalyptus. A large eucalyptus tree can be seen right now up above that exhibit. Also here to the left.
Across the zoo. Yes, it's a very big zoo.
There you go, lower now.
Just my sunglasses.
Where?
Not my feet.
Hey, look down there. Look, Mama. Yeah, that's where the show's gonna be at now.
It's just an aviary where birds are.
I'll go stay quiet there.
We're going to go into the children's zoo next, okay?
No, I'll go there.
That's way on the other side of the zoo.
Yeah, I can see our shadow in the trees down there.
See? This?
That's our shadow.
That's one tree that one. What I'm looking at.
That's it.
Yep.
The gorillas, look.
What?
Whoa. Don't stand up. Go down there. Careful your head.
Funny.
Must be the Science Expo or something.
Yeah. They have a ton of museums and stuff in the park.
What will you do?
Oh, just all around the... Look at this. Look.
Can you see him? Watch your head. Can you see him?
I want to see him with that. I want to see it, Daddy.
Here, what?
Not too bad.
Yeah, just a minute. Look.
Look at them, they're looking at you.
Look, say hi, lean back.
Nicely done. Come on over, guys. Just use a nice open hand like this and very gently right down his back. That's the way to do it.
Are we allowed to like
Good
Sure, you can take a picture.
buddy.
As a matter of fact, if you get National Geographic magazine, you're going to see his picture in there very soon.
You can put him on the back of his head.
Now can we get out of here?
That's like your paw. Nice to meet you.
Oh, they're so cute, huh? Hey, I see there. I know that's all weird.
Like, actually,
Just like
that he threw like mine.
No, Joe. Yes.
You want one, Joe?
Yeah. Nesting chamber.
Yeah?
And then food chamber. And then this, I don't know. And that's a bed. And that's
Okay, let's go.
Look at that too. Over there. Did you look at this area?
Yeah, those are baby ones. See? They're baby rufus.
Did you look at the... Look at him. Praveen, did you see the nesting?
Actually, me one.
Oh, what's the name?
Malayan.
Rufus.
Did you look at the... Look at him. Praveen, did you see the nesting?
Actually, me one.
Oh, what's the name?
Malayan.
Oh, is that a ball?
I'll be right back, okay? You stay there.
One out.
Let's just hold on to it right now.
Oh, if you hold on to it too. Please don't climb up, Justin.
Let's do next side.
Charge your card.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't...
Arigato.